I'll call the December 7th, 6th meeting of Stark County Commission to order. We'll start with our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, now we're going to swear in our new commissioners. So I guess if you gentlemen want to stand up, or you two stand up.
Okay, all right, we can do it together, all right. Raise your right hand. I, and state your name,
Corey White.
do solemnly swear
Swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Stark County Commissioner
of the office of Stark County Commissioner
according to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen, you are now new commissioners.
Jumping in with both feet, right? All right, we are going to move on to selection of a county chairman. So nominations are open for county chair.
I would move, or I'd like to nominate Dean Franchuk for the office of county chairman. Position of chairman.
Are there any other nominations for county chair? Are there any other nominations for county chair? Are there any other nominations for county chair? If not, the nomination process for county chair is closed. And do we have to vote, or we just, okay, I'll call it by name or just a vote?
Just vote.
All those in favor of Dean Franchuk being county chair signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Congratulations, Commissioner Franchuk, Chair Franchuk, you are in charge.
Okay, thank you.
Let me hand this down to you.
Thank you for your support. Now we'll have nominations for vice chair. There's any nominations for vice chair?
So I have a question before we get a nomination. So if we do this, are we reorganizing till the end of 2023?
I think if we're gonna do this, I think we should do it every December
Okay,
and just stay consistent that way.
okay,
That's my opinion, though.
okay. I know a number of other counties do it that way historically, so. Okay, thank you.
Okay. You can ask for any nominations for vice chair.
Chairman Franchuk, I would nominate Neil Messer for vice chair.
Okay, we have nominations for Neil Messer. Do I have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations for vice chair? If not, then we'll close the nominations and go for a vote for all those in favor of vice chair Neil Messer. Please state by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll do the ratification of the agenda. Is there any changes or corrections to the agenda?
There's some things I have that I think could be probably taken off. I've talked to Mr. Freilich a little bit, but I haven't been able to really dig into it as much as I'd like to, and Mr. Freilich is fine with that. So the county agent ARPA discussion, I'll have a legal opinion ready by January. Kurt didn't say he was in any hurry for it, so if we could take that or just table it till next, that would be great.
Okay, then we'll table that till next meeting then.
And then I did send out a opinion on the Stark County official newspaper, so you guys can decide if you want to keep that on the agenda and kind of discuss it, or if you want to take it off, and the press will just continue.
Which one was that?
That's Stark County official
Stark County
newspaper.
official newspaper.
And you can keep it on and discuss it if you want. It's just something that's on there.
Okay, is there any other changes? Not looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Okay, I have a second.
I'll second.
Those all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the minutes then for November 1st. Is there any, 2022, is there any corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes for November 1st, 2022.
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes
I'll second.
A motion and second.
for
All-
November 1st, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for November 1st.
All in favor? State aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the minutes for November 7th, 2022, a special meeting on that. Is there any corrections to that?
I'll move to approve the minutes on November 7th as submitted.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Then we have the official 2022 general election canvassing proceedings that was took or held on November 21st, 2022. Is there any correction to those minutes?
I move that we accept the meeting, the minutes as presented.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. I takes care of our minutes then. How about accounts of payable? Do we have any questions on there? Yeah,
I do have one question. It's my first page of the spreadsheet. Guardian Fleet Safety for the 27,932.95 paid out of ARPA funds. I know we approved that, so my question is, was that in that, was that the specific dollar amount, or is it more or less just, I don't know if that could be.
That's the install for the new vehicle.
Right, right, but, and I know we approved it, but I didn't know if it was approved based on a bid that turned out to be accurate, or was the bid more or less than,
I think our ceiling is the 150,
okay,
so that comes out of that 150.
on the ARPA funds? Okay.
any other questions on the accounts payable? There's no other questions. I'll look for a motion to approve with the continuing also, yeah, that came out on the 6th of December.
So moved?
Okay, the motion to approve, do I have a second?
I'll second.
You have a second, okay. This is a roll call vote. Commissioner Messer,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh,
Aye.
Commissioner Clares,
Aye.
and chair votes aye, motion carries. Accounts payable are approved. Next, we'll do the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Julie Obergawich. On October 20th, excuse me, we were fortunate enough to award a Vietnam veteran of Dickinson with the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award, Brian Benish. He is our 9th award recipient, and I have a video that I'd like to share highlighting his special day.
Today we are here to honor the spirit of life excellence for Brian.
veteran, Brian Benich, is a man of duty, conviction, honor, and selflessness. For the past 27 years, Brian has taken on the task of placing an individual flag at every veteran's gravestone for Memorial Day. In the 2-day span leading up to Memorial Day weekend, nearly 1,000 flags will decorate the cemeteries throughout Dickinson. Brian started this task as a way to give back to our nation's heroes, to heal from the trauma caused by war, and come to peace with the fact that he returned home, while many young men and women were not as fortunate. Brian has had the help of a few fellow veterans over the years, all of whom take on this task with the utmost respect to honor every veteran laid to rest. When Brian first started this project, he purchased all the flags out of his own pocket. Some last a few years, while others have to be replaced after one use due to the weather conditions. The community has pitched in and donated money to assure this honor can be paid to veterans every year. Brian is in his 70s, and the tedious task of cleaning the headstones, clipping away the grass, pulling the weeds to assure the grave is in the best condition before placing the flag takes a toll on his body. Brian has been quoted saying he will continue to pay tribute to these heroes in this manner until his body is laid to rest, and it is his children's and grandchildren's turn to place a flag on his grave. Brian has also led the Veterans Day program for over 18 years up until last year, as he felt it was his duty to pay tribute to all who have served, especially our prisoners of war and our missing in action. Those are the families who never got the closure they deserved to know what happened to their loved one who never returned home from war. Brian also spearheaded a program called Adopt a Vet, encouraging community members to an extra flower to the cemetery for Memorial Day. Locate a veteran's grave that does not have flowers and place it there to assure no veteran is ever forgotten. Brian has been an unwavering rock for many fellow veterans as he has helped them connect with the local Veteran Service Department and find assistance needed to heal. Brian is a quiet man who battles the demons created by war, yet lives a life of love, compassion, forgiveness, and empathy. He has a heart full of passion for honoring all veterans, living and deceased. He is truly a man to look up to and strive to resemble in day-to-day life. Brian is a perfect candidate for the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award, as he lives a life of giving to others who have given their lives to freedom.
Brian has overcome many things to get to the point he is today. Much of that has been talking about his experience in finding peace and giving back to soldiers who gave their lives to this country. Brian spoke at the Veterans Day and Memorial Day presentations for many years, becoming a tradition for our family to attend these events and learn something new about him. I've understood for many years that the tradition of decorating veterans' graves will one day become the responsibility of myself and my children. And Dad, I can assure you, it will be done with the utmost respect and honor that you have always given it. We love you, we are proud of you, and for all the times you didn't hear it when you should have, welcome home.
You have demonstrated and lived the Army's value of loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. We are home of the free because of the brave. Welcome home. We love you.
On behalf of Sachs Motors, Pam Kostelecki, Christian, we were fortunate at Sachs Motor Company to hire Brian. But I also know for him it will mean more that he can spread the word about our veterans and their sacrifices.
In the Elks we have this saying, our Elks members, living or dead, will never be forgotten. That is truly what Brian amplifies.
We've known each other for a few decades now. I'd like to also thank you for all the time you've spent in this community, making sure that veterans are never forgotten. I'd like to present you with the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award in recognition of outstanding excellence in Good Samaritan and random act of kindness. Thank you, sir.
I cannot tell you when I walked in that door, I can't explain it. I do what I do, not for awards, not for this, but I do appreciate a thank you, but more especially, I would ask that you remember the people that I do this for, and that's the people that lie at rest, people that will pass on in the cemeteries, please, please, please do not ever forget our veterans. None of us would be here without. Thank all of you. I can't thank you enough. I deeply appreciate this award, but more especially, I spent many, many, many years honoring a certain group of people. And again, I would ask that you never forget those people. And if you see a veteran around here that you know, simply say thank you. It means more than what you know, even for us old-time veterans. Deacon Stocker, thank you for your kind words. I've known a lot of you for many, many years, and I hope to know you for many, many more years. And I will continue to do what I'm doing until I cannot do it anymore. And there again, there are some days that feels like a lot of years, and there are some days when it feels like tomorrow. But with the help of my daughter and some other younger vets that are around, we're going to keep this going. It's been going fantastic for 30 years. It's going to go for as long as we can make it go. Thank all of you for the kind words. But more especially, thank you for coming here not to honor me, but to honor veterans. I deeply appreciate it. It means a lot. Again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you've done. He's one of a kind, and I really appreciate it.
My grandpa, he's a special man. He loves my grandma the most. Still takes her out on dates, opens the car door for her, pulls her chair out and pushes it in. Grandpa, I love you, and thank you for being mine.
My grandpa is a very, very kind man, and he helps a lot of people, especially the veterans. And I just want to say thank you for being my grandpa and helping everyone.
My mom would never made it to live 101 years old if Brian wasn't around, to tell you the truth. We're talking about community service. This dude was there all the time.
I just want to say from one veteran to another, thank you, Brian, for your service. When I see you out and about, that's Brian Banish, a kind person, very good man.
Even though each cemetery has the flagpoles, you felt each veteran deserved to have their own flag. You have been a shoulder to cry on for many, whether it's family, friends, or co-workers. You are a kind man, Brian, and I love you.
I thank you for your service, Brian. You are an inspiration to not only me, but to everyone in this room.
But in Brian's life, there is a checkout of good things, of things that he has done, things that he has been rewarded for, because he truly is a brother in Christ.
Brian is he here? Oh, okay. Oh, there you are. I totally missed you. I'd like to ask him to come forward, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. A lot of times people ask, they want to go to Arlington Cemetery to see the grave markers of heroes. I tell them that right here in Dickinson, in our cemeteries, we have heroes of all ages, all eras. We have Civil War heroes. We have a gentleman that served with Custer. We have Spanish-American War heroes, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Persian Gulf, and Iraq. I do what I do simply to honor and to remember. For what these people have done, I truly believe a flag and a flower once a year is the very least they deserve. And I thank you for allowing me to be here today. I do need to thank my daughter Holly for nominating me. I need to thank Sheriff Corey Lee for the kind words. I need to thank Jessica Clifton for helping with the program. And I need to thank this young lady, Julie. She puts in more hours and more dedication than you will ever know. Lastly, there is one woman that deserves more thanks than I can ever tell you. My wife of 47 years has walked beside me through all. As many of you know, I have severe post-trauma. Renee has been with me through the good times. She's been with me through the bad times. But we are still here, and we will still keep going. And again, I thank you, commissioners, and I thank Julie. Thank you so much.
It was a super touching presentation. It was very emotional for many people, including myself and Brian and just everyone there. It was nice. I just want to remind everyone we're in preparation to actually award our November recipient. We will be doing that in January with the holiday. It just kind of got pushed out, and then our next deadline will be February 15th. And again, the categories are leadership, customer service, innovation, stewardship, and also Good Samaritan, random acts of kindness. You can submit your nomination very easily through Stark County Sheriff's Office website, starkcountysheriffnd.com. So thanks again for having us come forward, and I look forward to the next presentation.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Also, thank you to Brian for everything you do and all the veterans in the county that do great things for us. I appreciate it. So, thank you very much. Yes.
Stepping back a little bit, do we have to make a motion or anything on moving nominations to December from January?
I don't believe that.
Policy, do we have to make a motion to do that in the future?
You could probably make a policy. The statute's really wide open as far as, so,
I just wanted to make sure that it didn't go.
yeah.
I don't think, I guess, because according to where the statute reads, I mean, and, you know, it can be done either way, I guess, especially since the vacancy was there, so, okay. Okay, next we'll do the sheriff's report. I guess we'll have the lieutenant doing that for today on. Is he on light duty or what?
Yeah, boss is on light duty. You can see he's laid up a little bit, so I get tasked with speaking before you all today. So, good morning, Eldon Mayer, Stark County Sheriff's Office. Welcome to the new commissioners. Looking forward to working with both of you. So, I'll just go through a few of the highlights for November. Our total calls for service were just over 1,000, down just a little bit from about 1,200 from last year. 110 traffic stops. Down again from last year from 243, 162 PR stops, down slightly from 171 the previous year. We did 5 bar checks. Our truck reg had 1 stops, but we had 9 calls for service as well. 4 theft-related calls, good to see there. That's down slightly from 6 from last year. 30 canine usages. Our transports continue to be up considerably. 13 prisoner transports, 12 court transports, 2 juvenile, 8 medical, 4 mental health, and we assisted another agency with a transport. We responded to 18 accidents. I think the weather, that first little snowstorm that came through had something to do with that. 11 property, 5 injury, 2 hit and run. And we had 69 total arrests for the month. Obviously, the election was held. We did provide security at the polling locations, had some officers come in and out, no issues there. We have conducted interviews to fill a vacancy in the front office at the sheriff's office. Conditional offer has been made, and we're in the background phase for that candidate. So those are kind of the highlights. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Any questions for Lieutenant Mayor?
Eldon, I also wanted to thank the sheriff's office for making sure my dad's cattle made it over Highway 85 south of Belfield without anybody getting hurt and hitting a cow in the November blizzard. So,
Thank you.
Any other? Not, thank you for your report then. Next we'll do the county roads for Al Heiser.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'd like to welcome Paul and Corey White. My phone's on 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, so if something comes up, don't be afraid to call. That's what I'm here for. We got a bridge east of Richardson. We've got some, during the inspection process, we got erosion happening underneath the road. There's a cavity forming. I got a quote from a company to actually come in and they drill holes and put pins in and fill them full of foam. It's very expensive. They estimate the project about $37,750. They don't have any idea how much foam it's going to take. The foam's $225 a gallon, but it expands 15 to 20% of its size after it comes out of the tank. So it's a lot of money, but I don't know, taking the road out and digging beside the bridge and abutments is another whole task. So it's here sometime later December, January, they're going to come out and take care of it. Because if we don't, we're probably going to have an issue with the road probably collapsing. So
Material work in the cold weather?
yeah, it comes out. It's pretty hot. It's kind of a foam that's pressurized. And what they do, like I said, they drill a rod down into the cavity and then they put their coupler on there and then they fill it till the pressure's back up. Actually, they can lift approach slabs, and we had the same process over by Belfield here, east of Belfield a few years ago. We had a cavity underneath, and it can actually jack the road back up if it's settled. So I just told them we're going to have to fix it because there's no other option, but won't be surprised when the bill comes through. It's a lot of money, but when it's a specialized product, who else can do it? One other item I kind of briefly touched on at the last meeting of getting a bulk fuel tank, to hold 12,000 gallons. We're kind of limited. Talking with the dealers, we could save anywhere from 15 to 20 cents a gallon and maybe more at the time of the purchase. So I think when it gets to that point, if we do buy the tank, is just call for bids on fuel. I think you'd be surprised, if we could save $2,000 a fill. We probably burn over 40,000 gallons a year. So probably in 5 years the tank could be paid for. So, and the tank is roughly 37,000. So I don't know what the commission thinks of that idea.
You have that in your budget, correct?
We could, yeah, in the equipment.
And it's under the threshold of any bidding requirement?
Right, absolutely.
Plus you went out and actually got proposals.
Yeah, I did. There's only one basically big tank maker in the state is in Fargo. And that's complete setup with the pump, meter, filters, turnkey, just put the fuel in and start filling out of it.
I think it's a great idea.
The tank probably won't be built till next year sometime, in like January, February, so.
So then, when it comes to using winter blend versus summer blend,
We'll have to monitor the tank, run her down to the wire at the end of the year. And then blend. Right now, we're running a 70-30 blend, so we could just kind of monitor. We kind of switch over late in the fall, so when wintertime gets here, that we're wintered up for the cold weather.
Maybe you'd know this, what's the size, or how much amount of fuel would you have to take to buy on contract?
Well, typically the tankers, you can answer that.
We in years past, it's probably been 4 or 5 years, we actually tried to buy contracts in the spring when the fuel kind of took off, so I tried to get I did get a fairly reasonable contract, and then the market took off, and they recommend not even to try and control the market.
Yeah, I think his question is.
How many gallons?
Yeah.
So
You
that's
can
gonna-
purchase as many as you'd like, any amount.
Not a minimum or?
No.
Okay.
Is there any other requirements for the tank, a berming system around it?
This is a double line tank, so it does not need a berm.
Okay.
It can be just freestanding. It's an upright tank. We talked about it when we built the building way back, but at that time it wasn't feasible to put it up.
If there's no other questions, I'll look for a motion to approve purchase of the fuel tank.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Marsh to have a second.
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner Clares. Roll call vote, Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Clares.
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried. Do you need approval on the bridge repair or not?
I don't think so. It's just kind of a maintenance item. I just wanted to bring it up so you're kind of aware of it.
Okay. Are you gonna talk about the county right away for consolidated then? for-
Right, what they will. I don't know if somebody's here from Consolidate, they're right behind me here. Okay, so, but I'll finish my report up here, then we can go on to that. One other item that the road crew's up to, we're out actually cutting trees now. We've got places now that we're plowing snow again that it's hitting our loaders, and school bus talked about some, so we're out cutting some trees and doing some repairing. Hopefully the weather will straighten out, we can start transferring material, because this time of the year, weather permitting, we like to haul material from farther away, get it closer to where we need it. Other than that, I think I'll let our engineers do their report. And one other thing, I got email from the DOT yesterday, or maybe it was last Thursday, was that there's more bridge funding coming out, so. We've got, I'll let our engineers talk about the projects. We've got a lot of bridges in the pipe stream, and they're looking for more. We got to put them in, and they'll actually score them, determine who's eligible. So last time we fared pretty well, so hopefully, I told Todd he's pretty up on all the bridge stuff, so he's gonna go through a list and prioritize some and get some more in. They got to be in by the 18th. And I'll let Consolidated talk about that right-of-way permit. I know I sent it up to Amanda. She's okay with it, but she thought the board should be abreast what's happening, and they can kind of explain what it's all about and why they want to. It's a different type of a permit for their new cable they're putting in, so we'll let them guys talk about it.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask Al a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Lana had mentioned that you do need to, KLJ did want to speak today?
Yes.
Okay, so
We should keep them on the agenda now from now on, so.
now they're good? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
So we'll let them, and then we'll let our engineers talk about what they got going on. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Consolidated, if you want to step to the mic and just state your name for the record, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. Excuse me. My name is Ross Kuntz. I'm the outside plant manager for Consolidated Telecom. With me is Dustin Meyer. He's our engineer, chief engineer for Ready Tech Engineering. What I asked of Al was what we are doing. For those who aren't aware, we were awarded a federal grant to overbuild fiber optic cable in the Belfield Exchange. Those people over there are just starving for any kind of internet. There's zero service, basically. So in order to proceed with that, the federal government requests that we do an environmental study. And with that environmental study, they kind of changed the rules a little bit this year. They are saying that we must be in 100% disturbed soil the entire route. If we are not, then it requires a full-blown 12-month environmental study. The issue with that is they only give us 2 years to complete the whole project or we forfeit the money. So basically we're kind of setting up to fail. You know, we'll have 1 year at most. So in order to proceed and start acquiring our easements, we've been working on design for about 5-6 months here. We've talked to Billings County, and now we're approaching Stark County. We're asking for permission. So there's 110 total route miles roughly planned in Stark County. 87 of those miles are currently planned on disturbed soil. 23 miles are planned on undisturbed soil. So what we're asking for is basically a blanket easement working with L, a blanket permit to go in and out of the county right away where needed. So your examples are the 23 miles, we most definitely would have to be inside the county setback. You know, not necessarily right down in the road ditch, but inside the setback where the government would perceive it as disturbed soil. Then you've got 87 miles potentially on private land. It's been disturbed. The problem there is, you know, in this day and age, landowners are more than willing usually to sign an easement to get new services. However, most of them are going to say, yeah, I'll sign. I want you within 10 feet of the fence. Well, if that fence falls within the county's setback laws, then I have to approach L for another permit. So what I'm trying to do here is hedge my bet so I don't have to go back to these landowners 13 times and harass them in essence when their time, you know, is valuable, to have a blanket permit that we can work with Ready Tech. When we've got our easements secured, then we can approach Al and say, okay, Al, here's the 50 miles we would potentially be, or whatever it is, inside of your right-of-way. And that's what we have done with Billings County, and they gave us a verbal, and I guess that's what we're asking for from the commissioners here today. I don't know if you have anything more to add, or?
Got a question, Ross. So you're just looking for verbal, wouldn't we want to document this somehow, or?
I think you do want to document it. The problem I have is I don't know exactly where I'll be inside your right of way and where I won't until we've secured all the easements from the landowners.
So the reason I asked that question is it would be documented where you come within the county right of way versus being on private property. Somehow there would be a report because, you know, in the future, if there's an instance where, how deep are you burying the?
It will be 36 to 48 inches depending on terrain.
Okay. So in the future, if there would be something that would happen that the county needs to get below or to that 36-inch, 3-foot barrier, how's that gonna be? I mean, so if someone strikes your cable, we're doing a county project. Yeah. Who's responsible? Who's liable?
You know, anytime we as a utility company are within your setback, we always work with L. It's upon us to move it at our cost because we are inside of your setback. So that's why we always try to, you know, stay out of your setback. But yeah, it falls upon Consolidated. It's at no cost to the county. And I guess maybe L can attest, we always try to be there on time and not hold them up.
Right. The biggest thing, like you said, if it's in our right of way, it's up to them. But as far as I understand with law is that even if they're in our right of way, they still have to acquire adjacent landowner's permission because we have an easement for the road, not for any public utilities. And that's what we've done in the past is they have got easement from the landowners to be in our right of way. I don't foresee it to be an issue because if we do rebuild the road, they get notice, they move it at their expense.
As long as you have the documentation. I think
Right,
that's fine.
it'll be in the permit. Permit actually states it in there that, and once they figure out, we can get the proper permits for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Ross. Are you guys going to put together like an as-built survey after it's all said and done?
Yeah, we can do whatever the county requires. We will have everything in GIS. We will have staking sheets, as-built, whatever we need to put with that permit so they correspond. Whatever the county wants, we can do. That's where, right now, I can't give you that as-built because I just don't know where I'll be in and out of your right-of-way.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, I guess I'll look for a motion to approve they're going ahead with this project.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we authorize Consolidated the documentation and easement they need to complete their project with the understanding that they give us a final as-built document at the completion of the project.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, by Commissioner Marsh. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner White.
Aye.
Commissioner Caleres.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to interstate engineering.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Congratulations, Commissioner Claris, Commissioner White. We got a brief update on the 38th Street Bridge Replacement Project. A little good news, we have received the SHPO review with the determination of no historical properties affected, so we have no conflict with SHPO there. We still have no response from DOT though, on our draft document, environmental document. Our environmental specialist will continue communications with DOT on this matter, and when we receive their comments, we can submit the final document. This delay pushes construction to 2024, and we will keep you updated on a best fit bid date as that becomes clear. Any questions on that project?
Do you know why you're getting the delay, or is that normal? Or?
You know, it's really odd because the DOT is sending us letters, we got more money for bridges, and we can't get the ones approved that we've already got approved for.
We keep bugging them every 2 weeks, and
Struggle.
I don't have a good answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Highland Engineering.
Good morning. Welcome, new commissioners. Mike Ness with Highlands Engineering. Got a few projects, design and constructions to report on. The first one is a bridge replacement on 83rd Avenue Southwest, 8 miles north of Richardson, 4 miles east. Unfortunately, my report's going to be probably close to the last one as far as waiting on SHPO approval, DOT approval, and everything. We did get SHPO concurrence finally on this project, and so now we can submit the final environmental document for DOT approval. So that's moving ahead at least, and unfortunately, again, construction will most likely be 2024. So next project on is the three low water crossings we're in design on. We just received the cultural resource report from Beaver Creek Archaeology, and so now we can submit to the DOT and get SHPO concurrence on that one. Hopefully that's a faster process. So the SOV responses have been received, and we're targeting 2023 bid this spring and possible construction later on, since it's not these aren't box culverts, they're low water crossings, so it's going to be tight, but I'm still shooting for 2023 construction. So, and the other construction project we're working on, of course, is on hold for the winter. Central Specialties was low bidder, and that completion date is October 1st. So, does anybody have any questions?
One thing, Mike, we did do yesterday is we got all the, and one of our requirements too, we have to cut the trees down before the long-eared bats start nesting in there, so, and haul them off the project. So we did get that done yesterday.
Yeah, one of the requirements is if there's any trees that need to be removed in the non-nesting time of year, which is, I believe, November 1st through April 1st. So got those trees removed. So no more northern long-eared bat.
Is that an endangered species?
They're actually.
I know all bats are protected, so.
Yeah, they're actually in the transition from threatened to endangered at this point, right at this time. And so additional work on these type of federal projects is going to be an additional survey required now that they're going to endangered species. A survey needs to be done specifically for that at each site.
So do you move the bat somewhere?
No, you do it now when they're not here. They migrate.
You take away
We're going to put a welcome sign at the Esquire.
Take away their summer home.
First, I cross my fingers that there is no bat habitat, but all bridges are bat habitat, so you have to do a survey to see if there's any guano, if you will, at the site.
And then you just force them to find new homes.
Yep. All the commissioners have to build bat nests for them, I guess.
You put that in our budget for little bat houses that we can put out at all the bridge locations.
Okay, any other questions? No, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Northern Plains Engineering.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Got just a few brief updates. Construction projects, that DOT-funded project south of Richardson with the 2 box culverts. Construction is complete. The DOT has accepted the project. We're working on final records. It might be a month or two before we complete the final records, but that project's essentially done. Just records left on that project.